Welcome everyone. My name is Kassandra. I'm going to take you through this 30-minute intermediate full body flow, working on stretching, strengthening, balance. So this is really a well-rounded practice. No props required, and let's begin in Tadasana, mountain pose at the top of your mat. Bring your feet hip-width distance apart and really ground down through all four corners of both feet. Notice your tendency, not just right now, but anytime you're standing on your mat, if you roll your ankles out or roll your ankles in. Push down, lengthen your tailbone down, draw your lower belly in, shine the palms forward, and close your eyes here. Take a few deep cleansing breaths as you feel the crown of your head lengthen up towards the sky, as your feet anchor into the earth. And to establish our center of gravity, with your eyes closed, lean all of your weight forward into the balls of your feet. Feel how your toes dig into the floor. And then lean as far over to the right as you can, rolling to that outer right ankle. Lean all the way back in your heels as if you're gonna fall backwards. And then go over to the left. And now find that middle point between those four corners, lifting up through your quads. Keep your eyes closed as you inhale. Just circle and reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands at the heart, just rolling the shoulders back twice more like this. Inhale, big reach. Exhale, draw the energy down. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Re-extend your arms up towards the sky, and you might bend your elbows, just holding on to the opposite wrists, and crescent over into a side bend. Pushing out into your right hip. Inhale back through to center, switch sides. Exhale, side bend. And you'll notice this changes the weight distribution in your feet. Come all the way back through to center. Open up your arms and bring your hands to rest on your lower back. Feel your palms push and lengthen your tailbone down. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. Little bit of a back bend as you open and broaden through your chest. And come all the way back through to center. Lean on your right leg and you're gonna pull your left knee in towards your belly, either holding on to the back of your thigh or the front of your shin. And you can just take some ankle rolls with your left foot, flexing and pointing your toes. Notice now if you're digging your right toes into the floor. Again, evenly distribute your weight through all four corners. Keep your right hand where it is on your shin, open into a twist. Left arm reaches to the back of your mat. Try to open your chest while still keeping your left hip facing forward. Big breath in here. Utkatasana chair pose. Drop the feet down, reach and lengthen your arms up. Rock your weight back into your heels for this one. So we're really playing with weight distribution. It's really nice to develop body awareness of what happens in your feet and in your ankles. This is crucial for balance. Sink down a tiny bit more. Uttanasana, forward fold. And you're welcome to bend a little bit through your knees here. This doesn't need to be a very active forward fold. Just let your head be heavy, maybe swaying a little side to side. Push into your feet. We're gonna roll all the way up to stand. Take your time to come up. Back into Tadasana, mountain pose, shining your palms forward. Second side, you're going to lean on your left leg this time, pull up through that supporting leg, draw and engage from your core to lift that right knee and thigh up as high as it will go. And take those same little ankle rolls, flexing and pointing your toes. Notice what's happening in your supporting leg. And prepare for your twist. So keep your left hand where it is, extend your right arm back. See if you can grow a little bit taller in this twist. Drawing your lower belly in. Utkatasana, chair pose, building up some heat. We're just warming up the body so we can be ready for our peak poses, our more challenging strengthening and balancing poses, our deeper stretches. Sink it down even lower. Uttanasana, forward fold. 3 deep breaths here. Knees can definitely be bent. You can do more of a ragdoll variation. And instead of lifting back up, let's find Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Hands are shoulder width distance apart, feet are hip width distance apart. Spread your fingers wide, paddle out the feet, stretch into your hamstrings, really lengthen and lift your tailbone up and back. Balasana, child's pose. You can bring your knees as far out as they go. Of course, respecting your limitations, not overstretching as you press your hips to your heels and fold on down. Take 5 breaths in. And this is your time to get centered, maybe to set an intention for your practice. This doesn't need to be overly complex. You're just focusing on why you're practicing right now. What are you looking to gain from this class? And come up, tabletop pose, under hands and knees. Palms under your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Firm up your belly here, engage your core so that your lower back is flat. None of this rounding. We're really trying to strengthen through the midline. Lots of integrity along the spine as you reach and extend your right leg out. Roll that right hip down, pull your lower belly in even more. Find a nice lift out of your left hip, and then maybe also extend your left arm forward, bicep along the ear. So we're gonna inhale here, and as we exhale, we're gonna open the right leg to the right, the left arm to the left. And you can kind of rotate so that your left palm is facing the floor and your inner edge of your right foot is facing the mat. So inhale back into parallel. Exhale, open it out to the side. You're gonna feel this. Inhale, forward. Exhale, side. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Drop your right foot out to the side, thread the needle. Left arm underneath you, shoulder and ear to the floor. And see if you can maybe even reach and grab a hold of your big right toe with your 2 left peace fingers. Right hand can go to your lower back, reaching for your inner left thigh crease. Big upper body stretch here. One more big breath in. If you had your right hand behind you, bring it to the floor again so you can push and lift. And come all the way up. We're transitioning into our gate pose. Left arm reaches up and over, big side body stretch. And making your way back to center. Start to bring your right hands out in front of you, and we're gonna lift and pivot. So roll onto your heel, so your right toes are pointing up, and start to walk your hands over to the right side of your mat and off your mat. press your hips and send them back, stretching deeply into your hamstrings. You can bend a little bit into your right knee here, digging into your right heel and dragging it back towards your seat. Really activate and lengthen through the back of that leg. Let's come all the way back through to center. One last thing on this side, finding our tiger pose. You're gonna kick your right heel up to the sky. Try not to drop your belly so much for this variation. Keep the abdominals hugging in. And if you can, you're gonna reach back with that left arm and left hand and seeing if you can push and kick the heel up. So my leg is not going as high as it would if I was really going to drop my belly down and curve into my spine. I'm trying to engage my abdominals a little bit more. Big breath in here. And release, cat pose, round it out. Coming back to neutral, second side, two-legged tabletop pose. Left leg goes back. Roll that left hip down, lengthen out of your right hip crease, draw your lower belly in, right arm extends out. So as we inhale, we hold here. As you exhale, open it out to the side. Try to keep that leg up high. Inhale back. Exhale, open up. Inhale, reach it back. And open to the side. Last one here. Inhale, forward and back. Exhale, open side into our thread the needle. So drop your left foot to the mat. Right arm threads underneath you. Shoulder and ear come down to the floor. Maybe you hold on to your big left toe. And maybe you bring your left hand to your low back, reaching for your thigh crease. Left hand back to the floor. Let's lift on up. And you can come up onto your fingertips, roll onto your left heel so your toes are pointing up. Start to walk your hands over towards the left side of your mat. Lean and press your hips back. I like to tuck my toes under here. I just find it a little bit more stable. You're digging into your heel and dragging it back, bending a tiny little bit through that left leg. And keep reaching and lengthening through your spine. And coming all the way back to center, tiger pose, a little bit of a modified variation of tiger. Strengthen and tone through your lower abdomen, even as you lift that left thigh up. Reach back with your right hand, kick and lift. Not compromising your lower back in this pose. Try to feel it more in your thigh and in your right shoulder. And let's release, round and contract. Coming back to neutral, find your plank pose. Walk your hands a couple inches past your shoulders, lean your weight forward, tuck your toes, and lift on up. From your plank pose, lift and hover your right leg a few inches off the floor, and see if you can tap your left knee down and lift it back up. 3 more like this. Tap the left knee down, lift, tap, lift. Last one, tap, lift. 3 like a dog. Reach your right leg up, bend your right knee, open up your hip. Might need to wiggle your way back into alignment here. Squeezing and lifting that right knee as high as it'll go. Virabhadrasana 2, step your right foot in between your palms to the top of the mat. Back heel parallel to the shorter edge of your mat as you lift on up. Really bend into that front knee, squeeze it open towards your little toe. Get grounded here, and even in this pose, where is your weight being distributed? Let's interlace our hands behind the lower back, Roll your shoulders back, open your chest, humble warrior, dive down to the inside of that right thigh. Try to lift your knuckles up and over, keeping your shoulders away from your ears. Stay low to the ground. Just let your hands come down to the mat. We're coming to Ardha Chandrasana, your half moon pose. Right hand goes in front of your right foot as you kick and lift your left leg up, reaching your left arm up as well. So we're opening up in all directions. Keep your gaze steady. Try to roll your left hip back and roll your left shoulder back. Maybe add a bind, bending into your left knee, catching a hold of that left foot with your left hand. If this is too much, just stay in the first variation of the pose in half moon. Now, adding a challenge, try to keep the hold of the foot if you have it. Otherwise, we're all just lifting up and we are going to make our way to dancer's pose. Hold on to the inner edge of your left foot. Right arm extends forward, push and tilt. Again, don't worry about lifting and curving into your low back. Keep your core strong. Utkatasana chair pose. Sink down low. Uttanasana forward fold. And we meet in down dog. You can either take a flow or you can leave it out. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Second side, come forward into your plank pose, super strong. Hug your inner thighs together, reach the crown of your head forward. Left leg hovers up, tap the right knee down and lift it up. 3 more. Down and up, down and up. Last one, down, up. 3-legged dog. Left leg rises and you can bend your left knee to open your hip. Squeeze your heel towards your glute. Virabhadrasana 2, left foot forward between your hands, back foot parallel-ish to the shorter edge of your mat as you extend out with your arms. Squeeze that left thigh open. Find your breath. This is your opportunity to recharge just for a moment. And we're gonna add on. Interlace your hands the more unusual way, so the other thumb on top, roll your shoulders down and back, humble warrior, dive it down. So not leaning on our front thigh, instead diving to the inside of that leg. Keep squeezing your shoulder blades together. Now stay low to the mat. Just let your hands come down to the floor to facilitate the transition. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. You're balancing on your left leg as well as using your left fingertips to the mat or out in front of your mat, really. Right arm and right leg lifts up. And just like what we were doing in that tiger pose or that bird dog, try to lift out of your left hip socket. And you might choose to stay here, or you can add your bind, sugarcane pose variation. We are moving from sugarcane pose right away into dancer's pose. So try to keep your gaze steady on something that is not moving as you lift on up and flip the switch so that you're holding your foot from the inside instead. Left arm reaches out in front of you. Lengthen your tailbone down to the mat, flatten your lower back and start to reach it forward. Taking the foot into the palm. Try not to exaggerate this back bend. Keep your abs engaged and strong. Your leg probably won't go up as high as you're used to having it. Utkatasana, chair pose. Uttanasana, forward fold. Take your flow or just skip it and we meet in our downward facing dog. Stretch everything out. And let's bring our knees to the mat. Bring your legs out in front of you, Baddha Konasana, butterfly. So you want the soles of your feet together, knees apart, and you decide how close you want to have your heels in towards you here. And we're going to take eagle arm variation, right arm under your left, binding once or twice, and initiate the fold from here. Try to push your forearms towards one another, push into your palms. Inhale, rise up, keep your legs as they are, unwind and wrap the other way. So other elbow on top and fold again. See if you can go a little further second time around. Press your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, rise on up. Release your hands back behind you. Bend your knees. We'll find reverse tabletop pose. So you want your feet hip width distance apart. Hands shoulder width distance apart. Spread your fingertips wide. Squeeze into your glutes as you press and push up. I'm not letting my head drop just because I know it doesn't really work for my neck. For some people, it might feel really good. Push into your heels. Push into your fingertips. And release your hips down. Let's reach our right leg out in front of us. Bring your left foot in towards that inner thigh. As you inhale, rise and lift and fold forward. And rise up. Let's switch sides. Left leg forward, right foot in. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Fold. Come on up and let's lower all the way down on our backs. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, bridge pose. Walk your feet in. They should be about hip width distance apart. Relax your shoulder blades down your back. Push into your heels. Squeeze and lift your glutes up. Hug in through your inner thighs. And let's release down. Let's find banana pose. You can just bring your hips over to the right side of your mat. Bring your chest and head to the left. As you straighten your legs, walk your heels and ankles to the bottom left corner. You might even wrap your right ankle over the left one. And you can extend your arms up overhead if that's comfortable. Take a really slow and deep 5 to 10 breaths here. Starting to let go and unwind from our class feeling the effects of your practice, and just surrendering to the pose. And we'll just make our way to the other side. Uncross your ankles. And you can bring your hips over to the left. Chest and ankles over to the right. Maybe crossing your left ankle this time. 5 to 10 breaths here. And let's uncross. And before we go to Shavasana, it might feel good just to pull your knees into your belly, taking a little happy baby pose, Ananda Balasana. Any variation of this one that you like. Just getting your last big stretch in. And let's release. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Open up your arms. Shavasana, full body relaxation. Giving yourself about 2 minutes here so you can fully integrate the work you've done, acknowledging your hard work, the time you've set for yourself for your practice. And feel any lingering tension dissolve away every time you exhale. breathe a little deeper as you wake back up, energizing your body through gentle movements. And you can extend your arms up overhead, big stretch. And we'll roll to one side. And let's come up to take a seat. Sitting up nice and tall. And join your hands together at your heart. And we'll close our practice together with this one chant of Om. Inhale to chant, big breath in. Om. Bowing forward, namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I would love to know what you thought of this class and how it went for you. Please leave me a comment down below in the description box. Do subscribe to my channel to help support free yoga on the internet. And I would love for you to stay just a little bit longer on your yoga mat by doing this meditation right here. Just a nice way to close off this class. Thank you again, and I'll practice with you soon.